Hey everybody! Happy full moon in Aries. Thank you for joining me, you two. I think other people might join. I haven't seen you guys in a bit. I've been on a vacation, a well-deserved little breaky break, and I'm coming back with the moon in Aries, and it's full, which is super exciting. So today I'm going to talk to you about the full moon and how you can make the most of it. It's going to be pretty awesome. And we'll talk about some cool, or at least interesting stories that are going on in the news today. So let's see here. What do we have? Hello, Naughty. Hello, everybody. So yeah, let me show you what's up. So today, Wednesday, October 20th is our full moon in Aries. And then today, later on at 3:58 p.m. EDT, the moon will leave Aries and enter Taurus. Hi, Seraphin. How are you, Seraphin? Good morning, Deb. So yeah, we have the full moon in Aries now. And we'll have the moon entering Taurus 3:58 p.m. EDT. Now, there are a lot of aspects today, and I'm going to be honest, they're not easy, but they're all geared to helping us become more of who we need to be. Morning, Jamie. Morning, Deb. So good morning, Fran. So we're going to go through these aspects, and we're going to talk about how you can utilize the full moon to your greatest advantage. Then we're going to talk about today's news headlines. And then what we're going to do, because I know some of you, because I'm in LA, 9 a.m. for me is 12 p.m. for East Coasters, and even later for some people, I believe. So we're going to talk at the end of the show about what is up for tomorrow. So you are you're aligned for that, for the aspects tomorrow before before I leave. So yeah, so today we have the full moon in Aries. You want to use the full moon in Aries to notice the manifestations. No, it's an Aries new moon now. Aries full moon now. But the full moon, yeah, it's noon in New Jersey. So yeah, it's I'm glad to be back too, right as rain. Thank you for being here. So yeah, no, it's Aries moon right now. The Taurus moon will be at 3:58 p.m. EDT, but we're still gonna have the Aries energy, for the next 2 weeks, right? So with this full moon, you want to notice the manifestations of your intentions. So when we had the new moon in Libra earlier in October, I think it was the 6th of October, you created intentions. And now with the full moon, you're going to start to see evidence of your manifestations. Now, the key is to realize that even an emotion is a manifestation. So even if, say, you were like, okay, I want to fall madly, deeply, passionately in love, you may not actually have this lover here now. However, you might actually feel more loving, or you might feel as if you're in love. Same thing with money that we were talking about, I think last week. You might not have your millions, billions of dollars, but maybe you feel richer. So be sure to experience the emotions as your manifestation, because the emotion comes before the actual physical manifestation. So notice your manifestations, even if you feel a little bit more loving, or a little bit more rich, or a little bit more healthy. Notice the emotions, because the emotions are the precursor to your actual manifestation. So notice those. And also, take note of anything that you may have manifested already, legitimately, or actually in your physical reality. It's also about releasing resistance. Even if you're, focusing on what it is that you want, you need to sometimes get off the subject, because sometimes when we're focusing on what we want, we create resistance of resisting not having it. Like, okay, I really want to fall in love. I really want to fall in love. Well, what you're doing in that instance is you're beating the drum of not being in love. So that perpetuates it because what you resist persists. So you want to release resistance. It's just about letting go. And you want to feel out now what needs to shift for value fulfillment structure. And I came up with this term last night. So essentially, because all of these planets, we had Saturn, Pluto, Mercury, Jupiter, all these planets were retrograde. Now Pluto is direct, Saturn is direct, Jupiter is direct, and Mercury is direct. So with Saturn especially going direct, it's very important to realize that we're creating a new structure in our lives. And that structure should be based upon your values, because happiness is essentially value fulfillment. We are happy when one of our top tier values are fulfilled. So that's what this full moon's about. It's about shifting or just determining what needs to shift for you to have value fulfillment, for you to create a structure, Saturn, based upon your values. So let's look at these aspects. By the way, if you know where 27 degrees of Aries falls in your astrological chart, that's the life area that will be most affected by this full moon. We have moon opposing Mars. So this aspect is going to give us a strong urge to have our passionate desires fulfilled. Moodiness, impulsiveness, and anger can get in the way of your goals. So be sure to rise above things, right? Be like that phoenix. Rise above pettiness. Don't let minor irritations turn into arguments, abuse, or conflict, i.e., that's it. I can't deal with this day. I'm going to have a drink. I mean, don't let little things get you upset. What you want to do instead is channel your energy to achieving, again, what we were speaking about before, value fulfillment or achieving your goals. It's sort of a matter of determining what new structure. If you notice this lady's hand and this guy's hand, it's making like a box. And what you may want to do is determine your top 4 values, like the top 4 things that you absolutely do not want to exist without, what you really, really love. And sometimes they might be dichotomous. Like you might value creativity, but you are really good at making money when it comes to left brain stuff. So it's about finding a way for all of these values to get along well, even though they may be contradictory. So you want to channel your energy toward achieving your goals. With moon opposite Mars, it's a little bit rough. So if you find yourself, emotional, just go toward your goals. Determine what you need to do to take action. Because you're creating a new life structure. Meanwhile, moon is squaring Pluto. So you're going to experience some intense emotions. And those intense emotions with moon square Pluto, and these aspects, by the way, are not just today, but they're going to be reflective of the next 2 weeks with the full moon energy in effect. So you want to look at your intense emotions as opportunity to heal, transform, and evolve. If you are feeling yourself being compulsive or destructive, that might be a reaction to your deep feelings. It might be a defense mechanism. So it's an opportunity to be like, oh, wow. Oh, good morning, Sin. So essentially, with moon square Pluto, you might be, as they say nowadays, triggered. But when you're triggered, it's a good thing because it makes you realize, oh, okay, I have an issue around this topic. And then you can dig deep. And if you go retrospectively and you look at your life, you'll see that most likely it's the same conversations that you had when you were a child, or that you wish you had had when you were a child, that you're having now. The same things that upset you. You're not listening to me, or whatever it could be. So keep that in mind. If you find yourself getting triggered, maybe write something down and do a little bit of soul searching, because this is a really great time to eliminate fears, phobias, limiting beliefs, addictions, bigotry, destructive relationships. Now remember, by the time we're like 0, like from birth until 7 years old, we're like this real open energy. We're like this vessel. So whatever gets instilled within us from 0 to 7, that creates a paradigm within us that we spend our whole lives trying to get out of. So like these the chains here, right? When you allow yourself to break the chains of restriction, you get to fly like a bird. You get to fly like a bird. So keep that in mind with the moon's square to Pluto. Great time to start fresh and let go of the old stuff that might be bogging you down. Meanwhile, we also have Mars's square to Pluto. So this is going to give us an intense desire to gain power, control, to compete as well as win. So Mars and Pluto are not, I mean, they mean business. And when they're squaring off with each other, it is intense. So it's not going to be wise to suppress your strong urge to succeed, but it's also not the time to be starting fights, making enemies, or generally losing your shit. Instead, you want to allow yourself to strive for success in a very careful way. Just like this guy, he's playing Jenga, right? And if you ever played Jenga, you have to be very careful in removing these blocks. Because again, we are creating a new structure in our lives. So you don't want to go ballistic. You don't want to go crazy town. You want to strive for your success in a very careful way. So that means you don't want to be overly assertive or make others feel threatened. You want to do whatever you can to keep your eyes on the prize. Yep, exactly. Gotta be careful. You're playing Jenga, folks. You're creating a new structure. And with Mars is square to Pluto, that it's just so tempting. It's almost like I think it's very much like a Scorpio moon. Like when the moon's in Scorpio, I think there's just a tendency to just decide to really go off if somebody pisses you off. And then, you know, again, Mercury is direct now, but it's still a little bit slow. So you want to really think twice. Maybe punch a pillow or write a scathing email that you don't send, but don't. I know it will feel really good to go off and tell somebody to go to hell, but do what you can to strive for success in a very careful way. So those are the aspects for today. Ooh, look at this. This is great. On Monday, you had a life lesson. I had to remember to ask for help and not be too stubborn or independent. So true. We have to do that. We really, really do. Scorpio. Mars square Pluto is very Scorpio moon because traditional ruler Scorpio is Mars, and its contemporary ruler is Pluto. So yeah, enjoy your full moon in Aries. It's going to be pretty awesome. Do what you can to definitely have a focus, and it should be great. It should be awesome, in fact. So let's look at these news stories today. I wasn't too sure if I wanted to cover some news stories, but some I could not help myself. I thought that it could be really cool to look at some stuff. Let's see what we have here. So so for today, what we got is a few cool things that are in the news. The big thing is Netflix workers are planning a walkout as the fallout over Dave Chappelle continues. So this is another issue that we are having with the Dave Chappelle show, The Closer. After the debut of Dave Chappelle's stand-up special, The Closer, on Netflix, employees are planning a walkout protest today at their Los Angeles office. So, apparently this is going to be a kickoff, and the rally will include activists and public figures, and a list of firm asks will be sent to Mr. Sarandos, according to the Post. So on Monday, this past Monday, transgender employee resources group behind the walkout released a list of specific demands of Netflix, including more funding for trans creators, recruiting more diverse employees, and flagging anti-trans content on the platform. So they have real big issues. And by the way, one of the big people that are involved in this walkout, she was fired because she leaked information about Netflix, confidential information. Then I'm sure she signed an NDA or something along those lines before she started working there, but she decided to leak information to the public. I guess probably about what Dave Chappelle got paid for the show or the cost of the production. Netflix software engineer Tara Field, she wrote a blog post on Monday detailing her whirlwind experience since posting a viral Twitter thread on October 6th that said Mr. Chappelle's special, quote, attacks the trans community and the very validity of transness. Yeah. So, in the post, Ms. Field, who is transgender, said she was not asking that the clothes would be removed from Netflix. Rather, she hoped executives would take concrete actions, including stop pretending that transphobia in media has no effect on society. That's so interesting. Do you really? I mean, I don't think that people who are going to go out and like beat up transsexuals are, watching specials on Netflix. Maybe I'm naive. I'm always open to learning. I'm not a news buff, so I'm always open to gaining a broader perspective, expanding my mind. So I don't see it being an issue. I really don't. Ms. Field said she hoped Netflix would attach a warning to the closer. It says for mature content. I'm pretty sure. At the start of the show, and other series on streaming service that have been criticized as transphobic and to promote other queer and trans content after people consume that content. Oh my God. So essentially, they're saying that we need to have a warning at the beginning of these specials, and then we have to follow up that warning with, oh, by the way, here's a list of like trans programs you can watch because because this special attacked trans people. I mean, it's getting, I think, a little bit crazy town here. My concern is that comedy is really an endangered species right now. I'm not saying that we all hurt and we all can be offended by things. And sometimes when, a comedian or somebody says a joke or says something that's just ignorant, it does. It is like, it's a hurt. It can be like really like a punch. But at the same time, what we're getting with these comedy specials is an understanding of another person's perspective. In this instance, a Black person's perspective, which is super important. Like, we need to see and understand and grow and have these varying perspectives. So I can't believe it's happening, that this is happening. So yeah, they want a warning. It says mature content. So I don't understand why it's an issue. So what really pisses me off about this whole thing is, did anybody see the special? Did anybody even see it? He speaks, and not just at the end, but he speaks about his really great friend, Daphne Dorman, who is a transgender woman, and he speaks about his history with her and his love, their mutual respect and friendship that they had. And this article saying that as he began to close the show out, no, he actually spoke about it, I think, beforehand, throughout the show, about fellow comedian Daphne? Is it Daphne? Yeah, Daphne Dorman, a transgender woman he'd struck up a friendship with after bonding over their shared humor and their ability to have an open conversation about identity. And the family is essentially, unfortunately, this transgender lady, Daphne, she passed away. She committed suicide. But her family, is essentially saying that he is a LGBTQ ally and meant the world to her. It is so important to watch the whole special. And I think the good news about Netflix and like the trans community, or some people in the trans community, getting so upset about this, is it's bringing It's bringing The Closer further into the spotlight. It is on Netflix. It is really, really great. I thought it was excellent, if only because it gives me insight into how a Black man sees the world. And I know that he's not every Black man, but I think it's super helpful to see through the eyes of other people. And comedy is the angry art. It's the angry art. Like, you're not going to be funny in comedy unless there's a certain amount of anger. And, he goes after a lot of people. So anyway, see The Closer if you haven't already. It's, I think, really, really great. And even if you don't agree with him, it's good to see another person's perspective. Let's not kill comedy. You're going to offend people, and it sometimes hurts. But I think that, if anything, what comedy teaches us, if we are hurt during a stand-up special, it not just tells us to develop a tougher skin, but more so that if I don't have a real issue with myself, I'm not going to be so offended, because what other people do is they reflect back to us how we're feeling. So in any case, I think that if anything comedy can do, if we ever get offended with comedy, it not only helps us grow a tougher skin, but it helps us further double down on our self-love, on our self-care. So I hope you guys see The Closer. I loved it. I thought it was just so great. In other news today, Alyssa Milano is bored. She's clearly bored. When I look at this picture, I see a bored actress. And I can also see Tony Danza rolling his eyes. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe she has some really good points in regard to this. I don't know. But she has been arrested because she's not getting enough attention, is my feeling. So she was arrested during a voting rights protest at the White House on Tuesday as the Senate gears up for a vote on the Freedom to Vote Act, a scaled-back version of the voting rights bill that Senate Republicans blocked in June. Milano announced her arrest. I'm sure she's really happy to do that. In a tweet Tuesday afternoon, she said she had been demonstrating with People for the American Way, a progressive nonprofit organization that advocates for equal rights and constitutional liberties. The actress said she was arrested for, quote, demanding the Biden administration and the Senate to use their mandate to protect voting rights. Okay, so a U.S. Park police officer warned the protesters that they could be arrested due to laws prohibiting crowding or obstructing streets or sidewalks. So she had been warned, as well as I think it was 23 other people who have been arrested. The group was advocating for voting rights ahead of the Senate's vote to move forward with the Freedom to Vote Act. The legislation is set to reform voter registration and would make Election Day a national holiday. Okay. This is what's interesting. The legislation would also mandate that each state offer same-day voter registration at all polling locations by 2024 and calls for a broad range of cards and documents to qualify as proof of identification for in-person voting. Now, this I don't get. Like, how difficult is it to show an identification, like your license or even like a state ID card? I'm not getting this. Like, if you don't have a license or like a state issued ID, like, why are you able to vote? I don't understand this. So I need help. I need help in determining why that's like an issue for them in terms of this bill. I'm guessing that you should have a license if you are planning on voting. Maybe I'm missing something. Here. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I really would, because maybe this bill needs to be passed. I don't know. I don't understand what the issue is. The Democrats have Congress, right? So what is being impeded? I want to learn. So please let me know in the comments. Alyssa likes it. I loved Alyssa Milano. I grew up with Alyssa Milano. She's a really good actress. I will say that. And this is, the adult warning of yesteryear assumed you were a healthy, stable adult who can handle your emotions and observe mature content maturely. Not anymore. Yeah, it's a shame. But I think that what's going to happen with like the cancel culture, the pendulum is going to swing the other direction. So yeah, I'd love to hear more about this. Oh, Oh, okay. And also, yeah, they're not allowed. We have to have vaccination passports right now, or in a lot of places we do, or not passports. Rather, I went to brunch essentially the other day. I had to show my vax card, but I don't have to show my license. Or that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep me from having to show my license in order to vote. I don't understand. So let me know what's up. But besides those news stories, um, we got other fish to fry today. Before I leave, I want to talk to you about not just the full moon that we have today, but I want to talk to you about tomorrow's aspects before I skedaddle, before I leave. So essentially, tomorrow, you absolutely deserve a cupcake. You got to have a cupcake tomorrow. I'm really advising you to have a cupcake tomorrow. After these aspects today, and with the Aries full moon, you deserve a cupcake because the moon's going to be in Taurus and it's on Jupiter's day. So keep this in mind for your Thursday. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's all about growth and getting bigger and going far and wide. And we have a yummy Taurus moon. So under the Aries moon, you start shit. And then in the Taurus moon, you finish it, theoretically, or you nurture it and you bring it to perfect health. Taurus words and phrases include stability, security, sensuality, possessions, money, music, loyal, stubborn, practical, status quo, steadfast, and solid. Tomorrow's Taurus moon, you can use it for activities that yield solid results, financial matters, nesting, resting, enjoying your body, music, and food. There's no really big aspects tomorrow except this this Taurus moon. So be sure to enjoy that on Thursday if you are looking at this tonight. If you're, well, you should always think about Thursday, but I'm essentially talking about tomorrow for those people who might be getting this broadcast really, really late. So you know it's up for tomorrow. Tomorrow's a much more stable, calm day. It really is. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And you know where to reach me. You know where to reach me if you want a psychic astrology reading. PsychicSun.com, and we'll hook you up with a reading while we all are creating new structure in our life and doing what we can to build a better world for ourselves and our community. So anyway, guys, I have got to roll, but I hope you have an amazing full moon. And remember, don't lose your shit. Create new structure. You're playing Jenga right now in your life, right? So got to be extra careful. And I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments about Alyssa, who's such a disappointment. I'm disappointed. She should be acting. She should be on screen, not getting arrested. And also Dave Chappelle with the closer. So, and see it if you haven't already, and get back to me and tell me how you liked it if you haven't seen it. That's it for me, guys. Take super good care, okay? And happy full moon in Aries. Bye-bye.